Hi, welcome back to another video, another Le Mans Ultimate video. And oh my goodness, I didn't expect to be doing this one this week. So I was expecting to do the Multi-Class Masters Championship at Spa over the weekend. However, race control went down for maintenance, which meant that the races I'd pre-registered for kind of lost track of my registration. I couldn't join any practice sessions. I tried the troubleshooting fix to go and remove the temporary Studio 397 folder to see if that would kind of reboot it, you know, turn it off and turn it on again. But what that did instead was, yes, I could now see the practice sessions and join them, but as far as the championship was concerned, I had already committed to and completed my 3 attempts at the races, even though I hadn't turned a single lap. I won't lie, I was extremely frustrated because I was looking forward to the Spa weekend. I was hoping that this would be one where I might again improve performance and get a good result and continue on with what has so far been a pretty good championship season for me in season 2. However, the 3 races I wanted to attend, the 2 PM, the 7 PM on Saturday and the 10 AM, these are all UTC times on Sunday, I couldn't do a single one of them. So I did what any sim racer worth their salts would do, I raced something else. And that something else was the special event, the weekly races, the 2.4 hours of Spa multi-class on the newly released in the Pack 5 update endurance layout of the circuit, which means we could have up to 62 cars on the grid. 62 cars in multi-class, imagine that. So long story short, I was expecting to do just the one race because I mean 2.4 hours is a long time to be racing in VR, right? However, I got to within 5 minutes of the flag of the first race and got punted from behind by a hypercar coming across the top of Radion. That was it. I got 2.3 hours into the race and then got a DNF. I couldn't continue because the left rear tyre, the left rear wheel, let me correct myself, the left rear wheel was sheared clean off the car. The race was over. So having missed 3 multi-class masters events at Spa, getting taken out within sight of the finish line of the multi-class special event, what do? Do you just call it a day and watch Netflix? Or like quote unquote a mad lad, as someone in my stream chat called me, you joined the very next 2.4 hours of Spa, which was starting 5 minutes after the previous race was due to finish. So I literally went 2.3 plus hours in the first race, add on top of that the practice and the qualifying, so let's say that was 3 hours of racing in VR, took a toilet break and jumped straight into the next race and did again practice and qualifying and the next 2.4 hours. So I spent in total 5 hours 50 minutes racing straight in VR. It was actually a 7-hour session if you count all of the practice sessions. It just wasn't 7 hours consecutively because I took some comfort breaks. That is crazy. I mean, think about it. Over the course of Saturday, Sunday, the 3 races, I was expecting to spend maybe 7 hours, maybe 8 at most, doing the 3 90-minute races of the Multi-Class Masters with some practice before each race. But to do a marathon Ironman session of maybe 6.5 hours straight, I wasn't planning that for my weekend. Monday morning I knew about it because I had a restless night's sleep Sunday night because all of the adrenaline and all of the tension, all of the mental exhaustion of doing a 6-hour stint took its toll on me when I was trying to race. My smartwatch was gleefully telling me Monday morning, you had a restless night, your sleep quality was poor. However, from being in a state of just frustration, disappointment at not being able to race the championship races, I got to the end of Sunday elated because I absolutely love multi-class racing when it goes right, and I love multi-class racing in team events when it goes right. And to be able to do what was essentially a triple stint under normal circumstances in a team event straight back to back in VR because of the BigScreen Beyond without any eye strain, any headache, the only exhaustion or fatigue I should say that I had was because I was racing pretty much for 5 hours, 6 hours straight. But the racing, the excitement, the frenetic action of this grid was just brilliant. For me, it turned what was going to be a disappointing weekend of racing, or not racing, into probably one of the best weekends of racing I've had in 2025, maybe even 2024, but let's just stick to 2025. It was just that good. And for those of you that don't like multi-class racing, so don't ever do multi-class racing, you may never understand how the bittersweet pleasure pain paradox of multi-class racing can be possibly the best, most enjoyable, most satisfying, most taxing and most challenging category of racing that you can do. I've spoke about it before, but for those of us that love it, it's that sense of you having a race within a race within a race. If you're in the slowest class of cars like I am in the LMGT3, you are forever looking over your shoulder waiting for the prototypes to come up behind you and pass you. And in this event, 2.4 hours, they were passing us by lap 5. The hypercars are rapid around here. So you're looking over your shoulder trying not to get in their way because they don't have any patience. They just want to get past you, losing the least amount of time as possible, or potentially using you as a pick to get past the car that they're racing. Add into that the LMP2s that are also in this race. They're not quite as fast, but they're a little bit lethal when it comes to braking zones. So many of the drivers in the LMP2s, because of the way the car handles at the moment, are a little bit out of their depth, or potentially haven't spent enough time practicing in all conditions prior to the race. So on cold tyres go into heavy braking zones and 180, which can just skittle cars out of the way. It's just not good to see. In fact, this race that I'm in right now, I managed to finish, I'm going to spoil it, I managed to finish in 8th position because 25 of the 51 cars, 49% of the field DNF'd by the time we got to the checkered flag. That's how challenging multi-class is. Because as I said, being in the LMGT3s isn't easy. You're also trying to fight in your own class, and that's like a knife fight. The racing action is really close. So you lose a lot of time if you get tripped over by, or you trip over one of the prototypes as they pass you. And the people you're racing with, they just pounce. It's like sharks with blood in the water. There's absolutely no restraint, no refraining from trying to take a position. Add into that the fact that the track is developing. The qualifying session was low grip. The race started low grip. I was hoping it would get to medium grip. That never happened. So you've got a car with low grip, cold conditions that are getting colder as the sun starts to go down. So the track isn't giving up a lot of traction for you. You're trying to control your car, stay on your line, stay in your race, make up time on the track. You're trying to be consistent without burning out your tires. You're also trying not to make mistakes. You're trying to focus, and all the time you're doing that, you have hypercars and LMP2s descending on you like a plague of locusts. And that's during daylight hours. As I said, as the sun starts coming down at dusk and you're thinking, oh, I can still see my apexes, I can still see my braking points, this is all good. It turns to night and the light levels go down, the headlights behind you just emblazon everything in front of you. However, there are sections of the track where there's no track lighting, so you really can't see your apex. There are loads of shadows, and all of a sudden, maximizing your lap, executing your lap cleaning becomes exponentially more harder. And did I mention, during all of this, you have hypercars and LMP2s passing you left, right and center impatiently. They really don't want to wait. There are so many moments when you're getting tapped in the rear, tapped in the side. There are times when, unfortunately, you might see a hypercar and LMP2 get sent to the heavens because they make an audacious maneuver and you did not see them in your blind spot. It just is fraught. And by fraught, I mean expletive, deletive, frustrating. It's frustrating and fun at the same time because your adrenaline is racing, your heart rate is going through the roof, who knows what's happening with your blood pressure, and all you want is everybody to just settle down and let you focus on your race. This race had me so stressed out at times, but then it gave me moments where I was absolutely grinning from ear to ear. And I haven't raced in 2D pancake mode in so many years that I can't even remember what it feels like to be doing multi-class in 2D, because in VR, well, you can tell from this video, your head is on a swivel, your eyes are on beanstalks. I mean, look at this, look at the amount of cars that are heading into La Source. And you enter the apex knowing that everything you saw in your rear view mirror or the rear view TV screen is going to come barreling out of La Source, heading down to Eau Rouge, and all you want, all you're praying for is that you don't have an LMP2, no, a hypercar within 4 or 5 car lengths of you as you enter into Eau Rouge, especially as you come through Raidillon, because as you can see, they will go left, they will go right, they will not lift, they will even try to go 3 wide, they'll go onto the grass. They do not care. You are an obstacle they need to pass with the least amount of fuss and absolutely zero delay. And in VR, everything looks and feels so dramatic. Cars coming within a car's width of you feel as though they're within half a car's width. When they disappear into your blind spot, when they cut across your nose, when they cut in front of you, everything feels like a near disaster every single time. The amount of times during this race that I called someone an expletive, deletive, I yelped, I held my breath, my heart started racing. You'd think I was on one of the most extreme, most adrenaline rushing types of rides that you can get at a fun fair or a fairground or the seaside. It just feels that you're moments from disaster every single time. And I admit it, the charity levels are low because you just think everybody's an idiot. Everyone's an idiot. It can't be you. There's absolutely no way that you're telegraphing your position poorly. There's absolutely no way that you have any indecision and are putting yourself in a position that is putting you in danger. It can't be you, right? It's got to be them. And look at the clock. We are only 23 minutes into the race at this point. There's still another 2 hours and 7 minutes to go. The sun hasn't even come down yet. We haven't really even warmed up. We're still within touching distance of each other. Nobody has settled into their race yet, but we've already been lapped. And we're about to get lapped again. Okay, at this point in the race, Le Mans Ultimate started to look its most beautiful. As the lighting levels went down, the reflections of the light off the track, the headlights of the cars in the rear view mirror, the headlights of the cars coming over your shoulders in front of you, the different lighting inside the cockpit as you go under the circuit lighting, as the cars behind you light up the cockpit, as you go into the shadows, as you go by the circuit flag marshals. Everything, all of the lighting is just amazing. And again, I've said it before and I'll say it again, because the visual quality is so crisp and so clean, it is just an amazing experience. Again, I don't get paid by Studio 397. I'm not shilling for them at all. But if you haven't taken the 2 hours that you can get playing the game on Steam before they say you can no longer refund it, you are missing out. This game is amazing. And if you don't do multi-class racing, why not? Tell me, let me know. What is it about it that you don't like, or that you've never experienced, or you've thought that you never wanted to try? Because this is just insane. Insanely good fun, that is. It is just amazing. Again, as I said, during all of these moments, I'm here trying to make sure that the BMW behind me doesn't sense a moment of weakness, that I don't misplace myself or my car in the braking zone, that I don't miss an apex, that I don't overshoot on a track out, and that I don't misjudge being overtaken by the prototype behind me. All of that is going on in your head whilst you're trying to look forward, trying to make sure you don't lose too much time, that you can try and get up the road. All the whilst also hoping that maybe, just maybe, the car behind will get held up by a prototype coming past them. Everything is going on. There isn't a moment's rest. There isn't a single point in the race where you go, let me just get my breath back. No, it's go, go, go. Well, at least that's what the first stint is like. Once you get into the second and the third stint, once you're a little bit off strategy with the other cars, you do get some breathing space. But at that point, the track's getting darker, the temperature's coming down, the car's tending to oversteer a little bit more. At that point, the respite you get from on-track battles is replaced by the fraught, I'm going to say it again, nature of where the hell is my apex and what part of the track am I on? Racing through the night is brilliant, and Le Mans Ultimate does it so well. Okay, when I say so well, let me correct myself again. It is done so well once you transition through the different times of days, but because we're doing a 2.4 hour race and the race progression, the time lapse progression is based on the percentage of race distance. So when I say it does it well, let me do a disclaimer, let me do a editor's note. It's well, it looks so brilliant when it's in the state, when it's in the time of day. Dusk looks great, nighttime looks great, dawn looks great, daytime looks great, sunrise, sunset look beautiful. But because of that transition, because of that time lapse, it is a little bit quick and abrupt when it changes through those, look at that heading into Fania, when it changes through those various times of day. So what I'd really look forward to is when we get driver swaps and when we potentially get full distance special events, or fingers crossed, if Studio 397 and Le Mans Ultimate can pick up the virtual Le Mans series again and we get the hardcore 100% races. Because without those high-speed transitions, I just think that a full day-night cycle in Le Mans Ultimate with the graphics turned up as high as your system will allow is probably going to be one of the best sights, best experience we can have in sim racing when it comes to endurance racing. But that's me, that's my opinion, that's how my weekend went. What about you? Did you do the multi-class masters? Did you fall foul of the race control going down? Did you do the Spa, oh watch this, see, tripped over me. Did you do the Spa 2.4 hours? Were you in the race where 49% of the field DNF'd? Or did you have a great lights to flag event with no issues whatsoever? Do you do multi-class racing? Do you not like multi-class racing? What's your feedback? Let me know in the comments. All the likes, all the shares, all the subscriptions are deeply appreciated, but what I like the most is interacting in the comments. I'm going to shut up now. I'm going to watch the rest of this race back. I'm going to let you watch the action in peace, and I'm going to see you in the next video. Let's go.
The gap to P11 behind is now 1.5 seconds. Blue flag. Blue flag. Blue flag. There's a faster car approaching. Yellow flag. We can see Koenig has spun off. Sector 2 is clear. Faster car behind. Blue flag. There's a faster class car approaching. Faster car approaching. They're racing us for position. Don't expect any blue flags. Box in 1,010 feet. Pfeiffer behind is pitting. .300 feet. 100 feet.